Amongst the major announcements at the G20 summit on Saturday were the introduction of a flat tax of 15% for all companies earning over $890 million a year. This is an effort by the leaders of the G20 to do away with tax havens and to prevent some of the world's biggest economies from setting up tax-free or very reduced tax limits in countries that don't charge much when they should be paying more tax in their countries of origin. This was a measure that was already ratified by the G7 finance ministers back in July. It's now been accepted by the G20 leaders at the summit here in Rome. The second measure announced today was a joint statement by the leaders of France, Germany, the United Kingdom and the United States towards Iran. They want Iran to come back to the negotiating table to try to work out an agreement on the Iranian nuclear deal. Iran has been stalling those discussions since the election of Ibrahim Raisi back in June, and they have now said they're willing to come back to the negotiating table. This is something that the West wants them to do, and they're showing a joint approach towards that. This is a measure to show that the United States is back with the West in wanting Iran to move forward with its plans to get this deal up and running now the United States is back in it. And the other important issues, of course, which are being discussed here are climate change, which will carry on once the COP26 gets underway in Glasgow on Monday. More effort required to bring down global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade by the end of the 21st century, to do away with coal fires and fossil fuel energy, and more effort being made to help the poorer countries of the world to deal with global warming by handing over $100 billion in aid, which has already been promised, but which is very slow in making its way to those countries. And the coronavirus pandemic was also on the list of the important topics being discussed here at the G20 on Saturday. The coronavirus pandemic, where the nation's leaders are saying more efforts also needed to give money to the developing world to introduce vaccines so that only 3% so far who are vaccinated can be brought up to the same level as the industrialized world, i.e. 60% of people vaccinated. All of those measures discussed today at the G20 summit, more discussions going ahead on Sunday.